Hey, it's me, Tammy B. What's going on, guys? I thought I'd just hop on real quick and do a short miniature version of how to get away with murder. I missed last Thursday's episode. I was so busy on Thursday. I don't remember what happened, and it wasn't until the next day I was like, oh my gosh, I totally knew that there was something I forgot to do, and it was watch how to get away with murder. So let's jump in to the episode. A few things. Actually, I only want to talk about a couple parts. You guys, the fight between Annalise and Nate. I watched a couple reviews on it, but nobody really delved into the fight that much, and I was so surprised, you guys. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a soft fighter, which is a pro at times, and which could be a con at times. A pro because, who likes a contentious person or whatever, but a negative because sometimes you be so nice or you be so passive, people mistake your kindness for weakness. But so their argument was so intense, and in my head I was like, oh my gosh, I could never be in a relationship where we talk to each other like that. But did she call him a punk bitch, y'all? I was like, Annalise, no, you can't call Nate that. Well, number one, because he Nate and he fine, but number two, not too many real men will let you call them a punk bitch and then take you back. Like, especially if they like one of those old school, like, conscious mind type brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I hope you ain't ruined this with Nate for life. But she said that he was a punk because he wasn't being mean to her back. Now, don't get me wrong now. I know that sometimes, what does it say? Nice guys finish last. So this might be for real. Alright, I ain't gonna cut somebody out. Nice guys finish last or whatever. So maybe this is Nate being a nice guy and he gets to finish last. He done lost his wife, he lost his job, he's still frolicking around with the heifer that kind of low-key aided in him losing his wife and his job. And now this heifer gonna say he's soft and not mean and call him a punk bee. I was like, oh my gosh. But she looked so cute when she was doing it. I was like, Annalise, you look so bomb in that dress, so you gonna be an ass looking that hot. But anyway, y'all, and he was like, you know what, you gonna die alone. Your mama ain't gonna want you, your little girlfriend ain't gonna want you, your little sidekick Frank then ran away, and now you about to lose me, such and such and such and such. So he was going in. Y'all, she was not fazed by one bit, even though I do think that's true what he said. Like, if she do keep acting like that, like, she'll end up lonely, because, we thought Frank would never go nowhere. Only person she seemed to got 100% is Bonnie. And then after he said his little thing, and I'm thinking she gonna soften up, or she gonna say my bad and be like, oh, I'm just stressed out because I got fired or whatever. She looked at him, y'all. She was like, well, why you still standing here? I was like, oh, okay, that was low-key G. Even though I don't want her to fight with him, I was like, that was low-key G at least. Like, oh, you gonna try to take me down a peg, but at the end of the day, brother, you ain't saying nothing but a word and you still standing in my face. So on one hand, I was like, oh yeah, that's how you break up with somebody. But on the other hand, I don't want Annalise and Nate to break up. Wasn't I just saying last week or week before last how it was something about them that I love together or whatever. So that was that, you guys. That scene was so harsh to me, you guys. And it was another phrase I wish I would have I did write it down, but I don't know where the heck them notes at, y'all. I got my little gym bag right here. I ain't going to not now lick a gym, y'all. I swear it seemed like ever since I posted that post to show how much I lost over the last year, I feel like I ain't worked out since that day. That's why I'll be advertising when I work out or when I lose weight, because I'm like, oh yeah, but if I get back fat, people gonna be like, she's talking about all that weight loss. And then this time, I think I posted that last Thursday about, I lost 30 pounds in 1 year or something. And y'all, I ain't been to the gym since that day. But it took a year for it to come off. It better not come off in no 1 week. As a matter of fact, it ain't been 1 week. It's only been 5 days. But anyway, I digress. So back to How to Get Away with Murder, you guys. So yeah, I was so sad by that scene, y'all. And then Nate, you went straight to old girl. And it's so funny because I said something about old girl I like, even though I liked the way Annalise had checked her. It was like, yeah, but you gotta pretend when you acting badass, and I don't. So I liked when Annalise checked her, but aside from that, I had kind of liked old girl. Oh, but now that she's sleeping with my boo Nate, we back. We back nemesis, girl. Give Nate back. Not that he could be taken back, but hey, in Nate's defense, hey, I was here for Annalise. She gonna call me a punk B and tell me to get out. So hey, I would have found me another boo too. So I get it, Nate. But just like old girl, I forgot her name already, but I know that she's the new DA ever since the white DA died from last year. She was like, you don't know how long I've been waiting for this. And you know, I had to laugh because I had been in a situation like that where I almost wanted to say that, but I didn't want to seem thirsty, so I didn't say that. But I was like, it's kind of hot when you go ahead and admit, like, hey, I kind of wanted this and now it's going down or whatever. But I was like, I feel you, girl. I would have probably told Nate, like, yeah, I've been waiting for this, Nate. Thank you for coming through, boo. But yeah, so that was it, you guys. And of course, let's just talk about the last scene, y'all. We found out that Maggie is not dead, and now we find out Laurel is not all the way dead, but Laurel is the one that's passed out. Remember 2 weeks ago, somebody was like, hey, we got another body. Let's see if it's alive. So now this week we found out the body. Sorry, I'm going through a tunnel. It's short. I mean, that was like a freeway underpass. Now we find out that the body was Laurel, and she's somewhat alive, and she is pregnant. So maybe that's why she calling Frank all thirsty. But hey, I'm assuming it's Frank just because she been calling him, and you know that's the last person we saw her sleep with. But hey, you know, this scene is 4 weeks in the future, so you don't know what could happen in 4 weeks. As a matter of fact, that's just enough time to make you a brand new embryo. So hey, it could be somebody else. It could be Wes. Okay, I don't know why I said that, but y'all, help me remember, did Wes and Laurel sleep together? Somebody had said that in a comment section or in somebody else's review or something. I was like, I don't remember that. I remember them being all friends. I remember them going somewhere on a plane, looking up stuff. But I don't remember Wes and Laurel having sex for some reason. But if they did, remind me. Because now I would be kind of really pissed that he not being more smooth when it comes to Maggie and him being all involved with Laurel looking for a hell of a, like, I thought he was genuinely looking for a friend and his new girlfriend just don't understand. But if they did sleep together, then I could see how Maggie, like, even if she don't know, as a woman, you kind of do pick up on that stuff. So now I could see why Maggie was probably like, oh, y'all sleeping together, I'm trying to plan your party, yada yada yada, you know. So that was the main thing I remember. It's just that Laurel being pregnant and somewhat alive, which would explain why she like so thirsty to find Frank and why she lied, because if that's her baby daddy and Annalise tried to kill him, like, nah, I ain't gonna tell you where my baby daddy is, even though he do load me and kind of dipped out on me. At least if I know he alive, it's a possibility he would come back within the next 18 years before the baby grown, you know. So that was it. The only other thing was about Oliver. I had mentioned how I wondered if I couldn't recall 100% if he was HIV positive or not, but he confirmed it, like, yeah, that since he's positive, he can't have as free of one night stands as Connor have. And you know what, like I said, this show gave me way more information about the drug prep than I had ever had. So I'm definitely like the fact that How to Way to Get Away with Murder showed that on a national program or popular program. But I will have to say, you know, even though Connor know all about prep and is cool with having sex with somebody who's HIV positive as long as he takes prep, he should be more understandable to know that other guys wouldn't do that. Like, come on now, like, Connor, like, you was with Oliver, so of course if your boo come to you and be like, dang, this happened before you or happened on the break, I'm sick, yeah, you may be keen to stay, and then to be told, a lot of people still wouldn't stay. But come on, Connor, if you like he asked you, if you would have met me and I would have told you that on day one, would we ever have sex? And that's true. Like, not too many people be like, oh, that's okay, you know, HIV is not the death sentence it used to be, let's go ahead and still have sex, you know. So you gotta because Connor was like, only stupid people wouldn't date you just because you're positive. But I'm like, yeah, that's true, but come on now, you gotta be legit. Like, to be honest, like, even if P. Diddy or who I love the most in life aside from Jesus oh, I don't even remember who I like. Nate even could come to me and be like, hey boo, I know you've been feeding over me but I got a little issue. I'll be like, Nate, look, like, bruh, like, yeah. So, you know, I get it. I get both sides of it. I get it for the people who are down and being cautious, but I get it for the people who will be like, look, like, yeah, you hot, but that's too much for me. So, but I'm glad they kind of addressed that. And now hopefully they won't act so stupid around each other, making each other jealous and da-da-da-da. Hopefully Connor get it in his head like, nah, I don't want to break up with you, you know. But he didn't have that threesome with them young college eds. And I thought it was really cool how he asked them kids for that ID. Now, I hope, because we living in a time where everything is back and forth gender neutral, I hope that men who watch this do the same thing, whether they having sex with men or girls. Because, like, yeah, it was Connor and he was having sex with men, and some people may have not even looked, or some people just like whatever. But no, you guys, to me it is so important to age check these people. I mean, number one, just knowing me, I actually never lied about my age. I would tell my real age and they would just still get at me. So I wish I could find some of them pedophiles now. They probably need to go to jail, but because they probably still doing it, you know. But it is so important to make sure these people are really 18. Like, you could get caught up so fast whether they lie or not, you know, whether it's a guy or a girl. I mean, as we've seen the young boy, even though it's every teenager's fantasy to have sex with a hot teacher, even though that teacher, every woman is beautiful but even that teacher wouldn't be necessarily considered the hot teacher, or like that she wasn't teacher bae, you know. But that's a perfect example. Hey, a young man has sex with an old woman or whatever. So it just goes to show it happens on both sides, and we have to check did I miss my freaking stop? No, we have to check the ages of these people who we twiddling with, even when it's a one night stand, you know. So I'm kind of glad that they showed that. I think they do a good job of just showing little stuff to help people get not caught up, you know. So I thought that was really good. Asher, why was he doing so bad on this? Well, maybe because he was acting as a lawyer and he never had before. But Asher, like, you're such a good researcher, and usually you kind of be all in people's face when you got some facts. So I really didn't catch why Asher was so horrible at this job, but I guess it was the lawyer thing. So that was pretty much it, you guys. I really like the fact how Annalise gave Nate credit for giving her the rehab idea. Because even though he didn't say, oh, I got an idea for you to get out of the, you know, not get fired no more, but he did mention, oh, he told her to get help when they had that little fight, and she was like, well, you still standing here? That's another thing that made me like Nate more. Even the fact that she disrespected him and kicked him out, he still recognized, hey, at the end of the day, you have a problem, and I think you need to know that. So before he walked out, he was like, get help. So I thought it was cool that he still like wanted to help her, even though at that point I think he knew that they were through. So Annalise told the board, like, hey, if you give me my job back, I'll go to rehab. So I thought that was a cute little trade, and hopefully she do get help for real, because we don't want Annalise to be all drunk. But I think lawyers is on the top 10 or top 5 list of professions who are alcoholics. Or I think accountants and lawyers have the highest, like, suicide and alcoholism, or those are two of the professions that have those issues the most. Well, it used to be. I read that a couple years ago. Who knows? It probably changed by now. So yeah, I'm excited to see her get on rehab. And honestly, like I said, Annalise and the DA lady, not the DA, but the black lady who's on the board, I always want them to be friends just because I like to see sister in power as friends. But yeah, Annalise did need to fall back coming in there checking her. Like, she was like, oh no, boo, like, I don't know how you thought this was gonna go. You was gonna come in here and yell at me and think you gonna get your job back? Oh, like, no, you got another thing coming. Like, you better be careful, happy when you still got your job, because according to your contract, if you can't practice law, we could fire you. So I kind of like the fact that old girl was able to check her a little bit, because Annalise, come on now, girl, you got to know when you can ebb and flow. But that's it, you guys. I just want to talk about it a little bit because today is Tuesday. It's coming back. Wait, is it coming back Thursday or is it on break too? I hope it ain't on break. And who watches the World Series anyway like that, where all our favorite shows is going on break? And most of the time, even if we do, for those of us who do watch the World Series, because I did watch it one time, but that's because they was watching it at work and they brought free pizza, so I just had to go in that room to get the free pizza. But we'll press pause on one of the shows and come back later. Trust me, How to Get Away with Murder, Empire would not lose ratings because of the World Series. We could still be watching it, but whatever, they did what they did. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to go run this errand, so I'll holla. All right, bye.